This drum groove occurs 13 seconds into the song Good Times, Bad Times by the band Led Zeppelin. It's a 2-bar phrase, and it's the first 2 bars of the main drum groove of the song after the big drum fill intro. It's played on the cowbell. So John Bonham, right hand, instead of playing on the ride cymbal or hi-hat, plays on the cowbell. I haven't got a cowbell on this drum kit, so I'm just simply going to be using the bell of the ride cymbal. If you haven't got a cowbell on your drum kit, then I think the bell of the ride cymbal most closely represents the high-pitched cutting noise of a cowbell on the standard drum kit anyway. There's a little bit of improvisation occurring with the cowbell throughout the song. He changes the pattern a lot. He adds extra cowbell notes. Stuff like that is going on the cowbell, sort of improvising a little bit with what he's playing in the right hand. The pattern I'm going to teach you just has a straight 8th note cowbell pattern all the way through, and then it's up to yourself where you put in those extra cowbell notes if you like. Okay, let's start on the first bar, and we've got a little bit of bass drum work to do halfway through, but to start off with, it's quite simple. We've just simply got 1 and on the bass drum and crash at the beginning, 1 and. So the phrase starts with 1 and on the crash cymbal, 2 crash cymbals. Then we go straight to the ride cymbal. So throughout this entire pattern, first bar and second bar, our right hand's going to be simply playing 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. It just so happens the first 2 notes on the crash cymbal, 1 and 2, and you're back to the bell on the 2, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So nothing really changes with the right hand, just where it hits. So 1 and on beat 1. Then we've got 2 E and So we've got some bass drum stuff going on in between what the right hand is doing. We've got 2 snare drum notes, 2 E and, 2 E and, left, 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 left. And we've got a bass drum after the second hi-hat on the and of 2, right cymbal, sorry. 2 E and 2 E and 2 E and Now the next bit is tricky. If you haven't got your single bass drum foot technique down, you could play this double bass drum style-y, in which case you'd come in on your left foot on the E and because there's 3 bass drums in a row, starting on the E of beat 3, E and 2 foot if you like. 1 footed is what I was playing, how John Bonham plays it. He was a single bass drum footer. Incredible control to play this with 1 foot, but believe me, if you can play 3 bass drums and notes in a row, then 2 is going to be pretty easy, and most time drummers are only playing 2 notes. So this is a technique that's well worth learning if you can try and do it. It requires a little bit of technique, a little bit of practice, but once you're there, boy, you're in for a treat when it comes down to what you can play with your single bass drum foot. So 3 bass drum notes in a row, E and it starts with the right cymbal going on 3 and, or cowbell, as we mentioned earlier on, and it starts on the E. The bass drum starts on the E, the 3 in a row. 3 E and 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 difficult speeding up like that. 3 E and 3 E and 3 E and 3 E and 3 E and. Now when I'm playing it up to speed, I'm flicking those notes out with my ankle, do 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 do, and the last note is the full leg coming down. So it's like ankle down, do do dum do do dum do do dum. It's a technique called toe heel technique, which I discuss in other videos. But for now, it's all you need to know is that's how I'm playing it, toe heel. I'm actually playing with my left foot, by the way, not my right foot, as I'm actually a left-footed drummer playing on the right-handed kit for these videos. Okay, so 3 E and 3 E and 3 E and. That's the trickiest part of the beat, in my opinion. Then we got beat 4, same as beat 2, 4 E and 4 E and like that. So the whole of beat 1, we've got 1 and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and Notice the right cymbals going all the way steady all the way through. This is what those bass drums and snare drums are doing underneath. Bar 2, we got the same as beat 1. We got 1 and. Instead of crash crash, we just got bell bell or cowbell cowbell. Then we've got 2 and on the snare drum. It changes from 2E in the first bar and the second beats 2 and 4 to 2 and, 2 8th notes, 2 and, I quite like it. Sort of changes the feel of the snare drum backbeat. And then we've got another bass drum on the so 2 and 2 Remember, all E's and E's fall in between what the right hand is doing. That should help you. Keep your reference with the right symbol. Have you got bass drum notes coming down on or in between what the right hand is doing? That's how that really helps me to place those bass drums accurately. So 2 and then we got 3 E and So actually we've got 3 bass drums in a row, starting from the of 2, E of 3, of 3. 3 bass drums in between the right hand. Like that. That sort of helps me to get through that section as well. Think of it as 3 bass drums in between the ride symbol on the E and the Then we've got 4 and 2 eighth notes, but we've got high tom, floor tom, 4 and, 4 and. So we move the back beat to the toms, 4 and, like that. So the first part is 2 and, beat 4 is 4 and. Okay, so beat bar 2 very slowly. 1 and 2 and a 3 E and a 4 and 1 and 2 and a 3 E and a 4 and. Okay, let's try the whole 2-bar phrase really slowly. 1 and 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 and 2 and a 3 E and a 4 and. So if you're having difficulty, you can rewind that section, but I'm just thinking, well, as I was playing that, going from beat 1 into beat 2, you've got 2 bass drums next to each other. A 1 and. Now, on their own, each bar is on its own, you wouldn't think that, but when you put them together, you've got 2 bass drums next to each other. A 1 and. So be aware of that when you link the 2 bars together. Let's try both a little bit faster now. 1 and 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 and 2 and a 3 E and a 4. A little bit faster. So excuse me if I miss the bell every now and then. I'm trying to read the music while I look at you. I'm missing the bell and the writing. Before I was playing this pattern live or with my band, I'd be concentrating on the bell. I wouldn't be missing it as much as I am. And you can be doing the same as well. One more time, a little bit faster.